Hello everyone, welcome back to Affinity for Commander. My name is Alex, and today we're continuing our look into all the legends from the Outlaws of Thunder Junction set. As always, if you like any of the cards you see here, then be sure to use any of our lovely affiliate links when making your purchases, and cost you anything extra, but really helps the channel out quite a lot. And as always, all prices you see here in this video today are provided by the fabulous cardmarket.com. Now let's get back onto this raucous train ride. Akul the Unrepentant is a 5/5 flying trampler for 2 red and 2 black, who has an ability that I feel gets worse the further down you read. Firstly, sacrifice 3 creatures. Okay, I'm listening. To then put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Go on. But only at sorcery speed. Oh, and only once per turn. Look, I know I'm asking for him to essentially be completely broken here, but those restrictions just kneecap him so ridiculously hard that honestly, he's never going to make it as a commander. He might occasionally be put in any manner of Rakdos style decks, like, Rakdos, but that ability is just so niche and so restricted to doing it on your turn and only once. He's only maybe going to be in the 99, most likely in the jank pile for most players. Honest Rustin is a 3/2 for 1 generic, 1 black and 1 green, and is essentially an eternal witness for creatures, but they do then make all your creatures cost 1 generic less. Honestly, I wish I had red in him instead of the black, because then he could actually go into the only creatures matters decks, but he's still a very good card and will go straight into stuff like Merrin, Carador, Muldrotha, and is a solid 99 card. Gem Lightfoot Sky Explorer is a 3/3 flying Vigilance Azorius commander for 4 mana. That lets you draw a card whenever you pass your turn without casting anything. Okay, the only deck I can see this ever inching towards being an is the Afara Flash deck. But even then, that's only 1 card extra a turn, and it doesn't even happen on the same turn you cast them, because they are the spell you cast that turn. Yeah, it might be nice in the Afara deck, but beyond that, this card is going to be straight jank and going in our commons and uncommons pile, most of the time. Jolene Plundering Puglist is a card that now has that song completely stuck in my head. The original, not the new one, obviously. But they are a 3 mana legend that is a 4/2 that creates you a treasure whenever you attack with a big creature. And you can also sack those treasures to have Jolene deal 1 damage to any target. I mean, if you needed more payoffs for Dockside and Team of Sabretooth nonsense, then here we are. But quite frankly, treasure and then paying the mana, that seems quite steep for me just for the 1 damage. But then they've also got a Snake Horse thing, so I think all sense left this set before we even got out of the stables. Personally for me, if you're going down the Artifacts in Gruul route, then there is a better commander for that. But she's perfectly fine by herself, but we'll probably see play in the 99 of other Gruul decks rather than being a commander herself. Kamal is back in Thunder Junction, and rather than be a draining stacks piece this time, is instead a token copier for whatever our opponents play, whether that be a treasure or a clue token. And we then drain our opponents whenever a token comes into play under our control. Now, I might be wrong here, but Kamal just seems really good. Anytime someone creates a 1/1, a treasure, a food, a clue, a 4/4 dragon, you get a copy of that too. And then you drain the table for 1, and you're already in Orzhov. You get access to cards like Anointed Procession and Tatia. Yeah, I think Kamal is an absolutely fabulous Orzhov token commander. Kell and the Kid is a 3 mana 3/3 in bad that says whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may cast a spell from your hand with equal or lesser mana cost for free. Or you may also, just put a land into play, that works too. Now, obviously, plotting works incredibly well here and being one of the main ideas about the set, but so does stuff like Foretell and Disturb. Those mechanics also work with Kellen, and you get additional value just by playing your deck. Kellen, like his other iterations, is incredibly strong, and the main issue you're going to have is keeping up card draw to make sure you have spells in your hand to be casting for free. Honestly, it's a fabulous commander. Laughing Jasper Flint is a 4/3 Rakdos commander where the design team officially stopped caring about balance. His first line of text makes no sense initially that all creatures you don't control are mercenaries in addition to their other types. Okay. But then the beginning of your upkeep equals the number of outlaws you control, you exile cards from a target opponent's library and you may cast them that turn. and thus, any creatures you have will become mercenaries because you control them, but don't own them. Just as a quick reminder, Outlaw is not actually a creature type, it is a category of creatures. It is a big umbrella term. So if any creature has any one of these types, they are automatically an Outlaw. And back to laughing Jasper, the fact that you can just by himself get hopefully 1 card as a creature, play it, you then have 2, next turn you'll exile 2, play more creatures, and then go and go and go like that. He can take over games by himself, let alone the fact that you're going to be having a deck full of assassins, full of pirates, full of outlaws. This is a deck where if you protect him long enough, you will just take over the game with your commander's own ability and playing out a few rogues as well from your deck to get additional cards from your opponents and just take over the game with massive amounts of value. He is absolutely broken and I love him to bits. Meanwhile, the Zav Familiar Stranger is a little bit more of jumping through hoops style commander. You first have to commit a crime to give him a counter, so you have to interact with your opponents in some way. Then you're able to exile a card from a graveyard and he becomes that card if it is a creature. Now I do like the versatility of this, especially the fact that you are able to keep counters on the Zav so he keeps getting bigger no matter what creature he's become. And the fact that you can only do it once per turn is still a little bit naff for me though. But again, the thing that I don't like is the hoops. You have to commit a crime, then target a creature, and you have to hope there's even creatures in the bin you want to get a hold of. Until big things are either milled or dying, what is really the point of having him out? Before turn 5, unless you're milling people, he's just gonna be a dead card. So yeah, jank for me. Leah, Undefeated Slickshot, is a commander with prowess, and therefore in my mind can do no wrong. The card itself is also pretty sweet, and is it 3/3 that lets multicolored spells become plotted upon resolution rather than going to the graveyard, so you can cast them on a later turn. Now, due to the very slight limitation of being an is it if she were your commander, and the number of multicolored cards in there being limited by their, well, amount as well as goodness, I'm highly going to recommend the fact that she goes in a more multicolored matters focused deck, something like Niv Mizzet, where she can truly shine, and then be able to, get an Assassin's Trophy off once, and then twice later. Just sounds beautiful, doesn't it? Malcolm is also back, seems like he can't stay away recently for some reason. But he is a 2/2 flyer with haste for 1 red and 1 blue mana. And he reads, when you cast your second spell each turn, you investigate, creating a clue token. Little text box, little time needed, straight into the Spellslinger deck that's coming out in this set. Or really any deck that wants to drop its hand and then needs to keep refueling to keep the Spellslinging action going. This way, hopefully, if you are casting cantrips on each of your opponent's turns, then you are still getting that card draw value later on when you actually need it in the form of clues. Yeah, nifty little 99 card. And the final legend for this video is Maresa, Dealer of Death, who decides to take a vacation from, being queen, so she's donned a nice cute hat and has gone to a different plane of existence to commit more crimes. But when you commit those crimes, you're going to need to pay 1 generic mana to be able to look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, and one of them into the graveyard. So, firstly, I would like to say I'm very impressed by this card, not being once a turn or only at sorcery speed, so thumbs up there. Now, overall, I'm probably going to get some hate for this. I see it as being more of a jank commander, to be honest. I'm just really not sure of the game plan here. She could just be a straight good Grixis control commander, i.e. whenever you are interacting with your opponent, you can just pay 1 to help essentially draw a card and fill up your graveyard for animation later. That's fair and fine, but there are other commanders that also do that, and other control commanders that do that way better. Now don't get me wrong, I'm 100% happy to be proven wrong. She does still seem like a really good control commander to me, but that's just not what I'm looking for it to be a solid commander with a solid game plan. Like for example, Kellen. You can immediately tell what that deck's going to be like and how that commander's going to function. Maresa, meanwhile, just seems to be Grixis make your opponents cry. Which I mean, heck, making your opponents scoop in anger and frustration is 100% a game plan, and which might not leave you with a lot of friends, but does definitely win the game for sure. And if you move over to the fabulous TCG Home, you'll be able to see all the cards that we have sorted into being commanders from the set. Those cards that should be in the 99 and those precious few that are just simply jank. And that'll be it for part 2 of the Outlaws of Thunder Junction Legends. Part 3 will be coming out shortly. We'll finally wrap up all of the legends from this set. Speaking of, let us know what your favourite legend is from this set in the console. What are you most excited about building so far? And as always, all Affinity for Commander content is made possible thanks to the support of our amazing patrons. You guys are truly awesome. And if you too like to become a patron channel yourself and get access to exclusive rewards like Discord server and Affinity for Commander tokens, then be sure to check out our link in the description box below. But as always guys, that'll be it from me for now. As always, I've been Alex, and I will see you next time.